Hi everyone, Christina here. Welcome to my first video on my YouTube channel for 2020. I hope you guys had a wonderful holiday season. We're jumping right into it. Today I'm going to be sharing with you a Valentine's Day card, and I'm making a Valentine's Day card for a couple of reasons. Well, the first reason is Valentine's Day is next month, but also because I'm going to be bringing back mail call. Do you guys remember mail call from a few years ago? It was when I gave you guys a theme for each month, and then you would mail your handmade cards to me, and I would then share them on my YouTube channel, and you could see each other's work, see what everyone's doing, and it was a great way to connect with all of these amazing card makers. I've really missed it, and I want to have more connection in 2020. In fact, that's my word for the year is connection. I really want to connect with you guys more, and I thought this would be a great way to bring some of that connection back. Now, when I stopped mail call, I think it was back in 2017 or maybe 2016, when I stopped mail call, it was for some very specific reasons. One was I was just overwhelmed with so many cards coming in and trying to keep them all organized and knowing which cards were for which month and which theme, and it was a little bit of a mess. And so I was overwhelmed and I thought, this is something I can't continue. So when I bring it back, I'm going to be doing things a little bit differently, a little bit more organized, and more info on that at the end of the video. In the meantime, let's get into today's Valentine's Day card, which happens to be the theme for January 2020 for mail call. So it's very fitting, and I hope you guys enjoy. Let's get into it. I'm using two different stamp sets today. One is Crafted with Love, and the other is Occasional Labels. Both of these are from Mama Elephant. When I saw that really cute bunny with a string of hearts, it was too adorable. I knew I had to make something with it. So I'm going to do some no-line coloring today. Because of that, I've picked some hot press watercolor paper. It has a smoother surface, so I'm going to get a more solid stamp when I stamp this image in a very pale ink. I'm using Antique Linen Distress ink. That's my preferred ink for no-line watercoloring. And the watercolor paper that I'm using is Fabriano Artistico Extra White Hot Press. Starting out with Scattered Straw, and whenever I've painted the Mama Elephant bunnies, I somehow end up painting them in scattered straw. I think it's the most perfect golden yellow shade to create a really fuzzy bunny. So I'm going to speed up the painting process so you can see all of the no-line coloring. I will slow down the video when I show the particular distress ink that I'm using. And just so you also know, I'm using a size 0 round brush for all of my painting today. That's going to give me a small enough brush to get into all of those little tiny crevices and this very small parts of this image. So here we go with some no-line watercoloring. that all of the watercoloring is done, I'm going to create a background for my card. I'm using the same exact 5 colors of Distress ink that I used on the hearts that the bunny is holding. So I'm arranging them and smushing them onto a slick surface in sort of a rainbow pattern. And then I'm going to spritz them with a spray bottle. This is a distressed spray bottle, and it's just going to wet all of that ink so that I can smush my watercolor paper down. I did swap out to a different type of watercolor paper. This is Strathmore Cold Press 5x7 paper, and I switched just because this was an easy watercolor paper to grab. It's pre-cut and it works really well for this technique. So after I smushed it once and I dried it, I smushed it again and kind of pounced the paper into those water droplets, put down some additional purple up in that top corner. And it was sort of starting to look a little bit muddy to me. I wasn't sure if I was going to continue. I wasn't in love with this background, but I thought I would go ahead and just keep going. After it was dry, I sprinkled on some water droplets and then picked up some of the ink with a paper towel, and that leaves kind of like water droplets behind. Then grabbed some white gouache and diluted it with some water and then created some paint splatters off the edge of an acrylic block. While that background dries, I'm going to stamp my greeting for my card using that Occasionals label stamp set and some VersaFine Onyx black ink. So I'll stamp that down onto this paper just down here at the bottom. And then I used my scissors to trim this out, leaving a little bit of a white border around that greeting. In order to create the background the perfect size, I used the A2 layers dies from Waffle Flower, and it was hard for me to kind of figure out where exactly to cut this down because I didn't want to lose the red, but I didn't want to lose the blue. So the majority of this background is yellow and green, which normally isn't my go-to color combination. So I'm not like entirely loving this background. In fact, I almost thought to add some additional colors on top later, but I decided to go ahead and just leave it. I think it looks perfectly fine otherwise. It's just not my preferred color combo, I don't think. So I used some circles from the Nested Circles die set from Simon, and I cut out a circle window for this background. Then trimmed down some foam tape and removed the release paper on the back. This allows me to manipulate and bend the foam tape and adhere it all the way around this circle window, similar to what I do when I'm creating a circle window shaker card. Then put some additional foam just to have everything be even, and then I place it over the top of the bunny. And I did die cut that bunny out of a larger circle just so it would be easier to position it underneath that circle window. I then added some additional foam tape around the corners and also some tape runner on the back of the bunny piece. I then put it on the front of a white card base. This is a card base made out of some Neenah Classic Crust Solar White 110-pound cardstock. And the finished card size for this is A2, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I adhered that greeting with a little bit of foam tape, and then to finish it off and add a little bit of shine, I used some Nouveau Crystal Glaze just on top of those hearts. I thought it would just give it a little bit of a texture differentiation, and it would look really, really nice like that. So that is the card for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. I love how this turned out. That background's really growing on me, actually. I'm kind of loving it now. It's very different from what I usually make. Thank you so much for watching the card video. I hope that was really fun. I wanted to keep it kind of simple and colorful for today's card. I really love how it turned out. Now let's get into mail call. If you have never submitted anything for anything like this before, I'm going to walk you through it. It's really, really simple. So over at my blog, I have a page that's just for mail call. It's going to be Mail Call 2020. It's going to have all the info you need about sending your card in. It's going to have my address. It's going to have the themes for the entire year. Yes, you're going to know the themes for the entire year. I know international card makers really need to know the themes in advance so you can mail them so they arrive on time for the video. So you're going to have all 12 themes for the year. There's also going to be a form that you can download for each card, and on that form it's going to have like a check mark where you can check the theme for your card. This form is going to be sized to go inside an A2 card, so it's going to be small. You can print out just one page, and you'll have 4 of them on the page. Cut those down and put one in a card. It's kind of some other info on it, like your name and things like that. But that's just to help me keep things organized. I will only be sharing cards that have that form included, so please don't forget that. And also, when you're putting it together, you're going to need a couple of things in your envelope when you mail your card in. First, you're going to need your card. You're going to need the form that you filled out. And then if you want your card returned to you, you need to include a self-addressed stamped envelope. That makes sure that the minute I'm done filming the video, I can slip your card in an envelope and mail it back to you. Now, this brings up a question and kind of a sore point or a challenge I had when I did mail call before, which is what to do with all these amazing cards that you guys send me. Some of them, I would say maybe 5% are mailed back to the person who created them. They send their self-addressed stamped envelope and I mail those back. The other 95% I didn't know what to do with. Some had amazing, beautiful personal messages to me. Some were blank. I didn't entirely know what to do. So for this time around, I'm asking you all to not put anything inside your card. No personal message. Think of it as this card is blank. It could be used by someone else. And then I'm going to take all of the cards that are not, requested to be sent back to the creator. I'll take all of those cards and pass them on to a good cause. Someone who takes cards to nursing homes or hospitals or wherever a card is needed. And when there's card drives throughout the year, I'm going to save those cards and send those to the card drive. I want to make sure that these cards are used and that they have a purpose beyond just sending them to me to show on camera and share your creations with other crafters. So when you send your card in, make sure it's blank. It has the form and an envelope if you want it returned to you. And that's all you have to do. So all 12 themes, like I mentioned before, will be listed over at my blog. They'll also be on the form that you fill out, so you just check off which theme your card is for. And hopefully this will be a great way to have more connection in this amazing community of card makers. So I hope you guys will join me. On screen, I've got 2 more videos for you to check out. And speaking of mail, these are going to be mail art videos. Some envelopes that I've made over the past year or so. Thank you so much for sticking with me through this entire video, including all the talking and jabbering at the very end. I hope you guys kind of love this kind of direction that I'm taking things. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys in another video very soon.